What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review the debut project by Saucy Santana. Basically, this project is called Dog Walkers EP and it came out in the summer of 2019. So basically, I would say that Saucy Santana is like a wingman of City Girls as far as this pitch can happen. Like a good affiliate. He was their makeup artist back in like the mid. He was like their makeup artist back in like the mid late 2010s as far as those fairs can happen. He started popping up on the scene just a little over a year after they particularly did as far as those fairs can happen. Now, City Girls was at least brewing, I want to say, since at least approximately mid 2017 or so as far as those fairs can happen. But he was definitely an affiliate of theirs, like I was saying, kind of mid pace, kind of wingman, to say whether or not women have wingmen as far as this pitch can happen. Just within the relative atmosphere of like if you see them as like a trio, probably like the third one in like that trio would probably be after City Girls' duo would probably be Saucy Santana in like a lot of good fashions. They've done some songs together within those pitches, some good type fair, good aspects. He basically has a pretty good affiliate with them as far as those fairs can happen. Now nowadays, City Girls are not as brewing as much as they were back in like the late 2010s, very early 2020s. I do know that the girl JT dropped like an album, a mixtape, a particular solo project she dropped in like the summer of 2024. Young Miami's been kind of doing like her she had like a talk show or something like that that's been happening. She might put out like a product, something like that. I want to say there might be another City Girls product. They dropped one like in 2023, but it's just within the pitch. Also, Saucy Santana at least had products up to like the early 2020s. I want to say possibly he dropped in. Wikipedia at least lists some of the products that he dropped up to late 2021, but I think he at least dropped maybe like a product or two after that, something within that fair. But it's just kind of within the pitch. Nowadays, he's kind of been more on reality TV, but this is a classic EP here, just to be able to say that at a brief three songs, but every song of these I recommend. So I'll just go ahead and say this EP gets a 10 out of 10 just within pitches like that. This basic kind of brewing type fare just within the pitch. If you like the kind of particular just popping kind of percolate type music that City Girls kind of does, it's just within a relative type fashion. Now these are just more brewers more so than festive kind of full bound night bound kind of crazes, but it is pretty seedy amongst the nightlife as far as those pitches can happen. It's not really typical kind of SFW kind of more Monday Tuesday type music, but it's just within the fair. A lot of this just feels like a brewing kind of extra time kind of Thursday evening pitches like that. Maybe not as much full bound kind of pitch crazy Friday night type fare, but just within something that feels more of like 10 o'clock p.m. on like a Wednesday night, or maybe like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. on like a Thursday night, maybe one or two more days to work within those fairs before getting to like the more shrill kind of festivities. I know that and I reviewed a previous project of Saucy Santana back in 2022, so it's been a little bit since I reviewed him, but I reviewed his basic debut mixtape, which was I'm a Celebrity, which had some pretty good stuff on there that had like a couple of hit singles on there, like Material Girl and Walk 'em Like a Dog, and some of those type of ones had some good singles that had a little bit more feisty type productions. But this is just kind of more marinate type music, just in the pitch behind, just a little bit more brewers are just kind of being at the venue pitches like that, but not quite as much full bound kind of getting within the pitch like the full blown festivity kind of twerk numbers and just rattly kind of ass shaking like maracas type fare. It's just kind of more ambience within this product. But all these work pretty well just within the tone behind it. So just being able to say just delivers upon that. So all three of these songs, just to say like that, I recommend. So yeah, Ho is a nice one. It's like a basic and vanilla kind of strip club marinate to kind of get here just on Thursday, Friday, kind of gabbing like a typical fashion. I'd say just overall lit one. I'd probably say the turn up energy about this particular song is like a 7 out of 10 as far as those fairs kind of happen with it. It's basically it's the aspect of being amongst the strip club, but just kind of in a more type fashion, just kind of brewing, just getting a drink in your system, some fairs like that, some basic snacks, whether it's wings, potato chips, some of that particular type fairs, as far as those fairs can happen with it. Basic kind of ambience just within the concept behind it, just as far as those pitches can happen, just good type tone as far as that particular kind of goes. Simple and typical kind of kickback, just kind of the product of just plotting your next move, figuring out what's going to happen across like a bigger buzzy night as far as those pitches can happen. Just some basic kind of once again, just more Thursday type music, I would say, in particular within that time with some good type of feel for it. Just nice brewing type one, real nice ambience. And then Hood Nigga's a nice one as well. It's like a vintage kind of early 2010s mixtape buzz single to kind of get here. Just reminds me of something that Waka Flocka or like Yo Gotti or Meek Mill would kind of do in like a more kind of strip club oriented type routine about it. It's a little bit more like a dance type one within the pitch, just routine but mild kind of go ham type song kind of get here. Just regular weekend type for it kind of have within that pitch. So just once again, the energy of all three of these songs in this project is just more 7.5 type territory in terms of craziness. But I just would look after these are quality songs. I'm giving this project like a 10 out of 10. It's just kind of within the pitch as far as particularly saying about it that the feistiness of this particular product. Like Saucy Santana gets a lot feistier on later projects, like when he drops songs like Material Girl and some of those type ones and Walk 'Em Like a Dog. This is just kind of ones, the initial kickoff of just like the ice breaking type moments and some kickstarts just within the tone behind it. Just the basic kind of like, oh yeah, kind of mingle a bit, the initial schmooze type fare just in the tone behind it. This is probably the most feisty song on here. This is the most popular song according to Spotify off this project. It has like 130,000 hits as far as those pitches kind of happen with it, but it's just kind of within the tone. It feels basically like a buzz single, like I would feel like here, just promo type, single type territory, something like that. Just routine kind of jumper within the sense, but just pretty mild in terms of like things that Saucy Santana or just folks that you would kind of get in particular that make more strip club jumps as far as the pitch can happen. But it is a nice one. Relatively feisty, but still relatively mild in the sense. So it's good type tone. And then Get It's a nice one. It's like the evening kind of heating up, kind of a few notches past vanilla. I'd have to say off this particular song. This one's not as mildly feisty as Hood Nigga, but it is a little bit feistier than Yahoo as far as those particular pitches kind of happen. It's like a Liddy kind of typical end of the week glamour as far as those pitches kind of like a Liddy kind of typical end of the week glamour as far as those pitches will kind of happen. This is just a popping type song kind of get within the tone behind it. So yeah, this is just a popping type one to kind of get here within the pitch behind it. Yeah, this is just a pop-in type one to kind of get here within the pitch behind it. A little bit more frenetic within the tone, but this kind of relatively still, not necessarily mid in energy, but just kind of the tone of just a little bit more ambience with this a little bit kind of like a mild kind of feisty type drive. When I say mild, this is kind of the concept. When you think of mild sauce, when you think of like Taco Bell mild sauce, it's kind of the concept where mild sauce is actually kind of spicy, but it's just within the tone compared to other ones. Like when you think of the fire sauce and some of those type ones, it's just kind of like probably like the notches would be obviously it's just light hot just compared to like medium or hot some of those type pitches with the tones just kind of where it's just mild kind of spices kind of happen here. It's kind of concept to some of that type fair, just initial kind of ambient, some of that typeness, but this one is a relative, this I would probably say once again maybe say the second most turned up type song compared to Hood Nigga, but it's just kind of one that still feels relatively more kind of just within a kind of foot tap kind of groove more so than ass shaking type just romp as far as this pitch can happen. Just with the tone, it works for what it is. So it's good type tones. So 10 out of 10. This EP particularly kind of gets to some nice brewers on here, like I was saying. Good type product. This initial kind of conduct to kind of get like this initial kind of conduct to get Saucy Santana's foot in the door as far as some of those type pitches. Just the conduct to seeing what he can do with songs. He's basically just like the same. He has like he has some good linguistics on this particular album. I'd say he's basically just like the City Girls, just within those pitches as far as talking about that. He knows like the money lingos as far as being able to distinguish like the concepts of like kind of more trendy type things just within the pitch behind it. I mean, it's just kind of the concept that I'd probably say he's like a gay version of E40, something like that, just within the pitch as far as those particular fairs going to happen. Just has the particular stylistics on here as far as that particular fair kind of goes. I don't notice this is full, but it just seems like there's a little bit more language on here from him compared to like when you think of City Girls. Like they definitely have like the relative spice. They just have a little bit more sauciness with them within the pitch, but he's a saucy dude as well. But it's just kind of the pitch that he has like some lingo about it as well that just kind of has within the tone. So yeah, like I was saying, this gay version of E40 as far as those fairs going to have in this good type tone for that. You do get the aspects of just talking about just trends of just like the pitch behind what he says with this. So some good type of feel. But to be honest, I'll say 10 out of 10 score. So the social score, I would probably say I'd give the social score like a 9.5 out of 10 just in the pitch. I feel like these songs are good. Definitely the ambience behind it, but it's just kind of the concept. I don't know how much full bound these songs kind of charted, and the crazy factor is just not as ferocious on here. Maybe if there had been like a fourth song just to be able to see towards, I feel like Hood Nigga's a good type buzz bop to kind of get within those pitches as far as that actively kind of works within, but it's just kind of within the tone as far as saying that just within like the actual full, I mean, definitely within the vibe, but just kind of vibing a bit and just having more ambient type vibes. I mean, it's definitely strip club type music. It definitely fits that fashion, just like more litty kind of venue type moments, but it's just within the tone that it just kind of marinates more. It's just the fact that this product kind of marinates more so than full blown gets spicy as far as those pitch can happen. It's just within the tone. So it's some excellent type product here. Just a mild spice of a product just kind of get here. Just mild sauce in the pitch. Not saying in terms of quality, but just with the aspect of just that turn up spice as far as like really getting ferocious. Just more Thursday type music, Wednesday night type fare, good type tone for that. And then in terms of the future, like Saucy Santana, it's kind of been around, kind of hasn't. I know he's dropped, like I looked him up on Spotify. He has particularly dropped like a lot of singles circa 2022, 2023, 2024. Maybe possibly he hasn't put out albums since late 2021. It's just kind of within the pitch. I mean, he does have some pretty fiery ones from what I've discovered just in the pitch, just within the tone. I mean, at least his first two, like the one that had the Material Girl song on there was pretty good. I'm a Celebrity was a pretty nice one. The Dog Walkers is a classic, like I was saying. So some good type pitches. I'm going to have to get some more of these. Originally, Originally, I was going to get to his follow up project, which was the second one he dropped after I'm a Celebrity, which is Pretty Little Gangsta. But the problem with that one, but the thing about that particular one is just the fact that it has 19 songs on there. So it's not one I'm just going to be able to wing just like that compared to this one, I'd have to say. So it's just on the pitch. I will get to that one down the road. So there is more Saucy Santana down the road as far as what's first going to happen. I suspect I'm going to like Pretty Little Gangsta, some pitches like that. So some good, nice ones in there. Yeah, it's a classic EP here, just within pitches like that. Some great marinate, mild sauce kind of music kind of get just Wednesday night, Thursday night type fare, and just an overall kind of strip club kind of classic just in the pitch. I just like the appeal that it kind of has within a brewing type sense.